Good evening, wrestling fans, and welcome to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio, right here on itmiradio.com. I'm about to go ahead and give Jeff a call so we can get this show up and running. I want to thank everybody for joining us. We got a lot to talk about in 60 minutes or so. So let me go ahead and get Jeff on the line here, and we can get things up and running tonight, like we always do.
Hey, this is Jeff. I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry I wasn't here to take your call, but
Okay, Jeff just told me that he was ready. I called the guy, and the voice machine pops up. So, rewind. Let's try this again. I'm calling Jeff again. There we go.
What's up, buddy?
Good, and you?
Good.
Alright. Let's go ahead and start things off. WWE, we always start the show with WWE first half. Then we got the interview tonight with indie pro wrestler Marty Bell from New York. She's going to be calling in bottom of the hour. Then we got This Day in Wrestling History, recap TNA's No Surrender pay-per-view, and Matt Hardy's in trouble again. And we'll make our picks for the Night of Champions pay-per-view at the last 10 minutes of the show, 8:50 Eastern, 5:50 mark. So let's go ahead, and before we get to the Raw recap, I did mention New York recently, just moments ago. This past Saturday morning, tickets went on sale for the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which will take place in your birth town, New York City, Madison Square Garden. Tickets sold out in less than 90 minutes.
Which one was for that?
That for the Survivor Series
Survivor
pay-per-view.
Series.
Yeah, that's coming up in November, the Sunday before.
Madison Square Garden, the birthplace of WWE.
That's right. Every time they have a show there, it sells out. So
Yeah, because you know what? I remember as a kid growing up, watching them sell out fucking Madison Square Garden every 3 weeks.
And if I recall, Vince McMahon Sr. is inducted into the Wall of Fame.
Yeah, he is.
So it's only a matter of time before Junior joins next to Senior. But I want to start that off with that. And of course, as expected, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, confirmed he will be there. No word if he's going to wrestle.
Or Survivor Series?
Yeah, he's going to be there. And Survivor Series is a very special pay-per-view for The Rock because that's when he made his WWE debut. So, and let's not forget the last time he was at pay-per-view New York happened to be his last match in the WWE, WrestleMania 20, which took place at Madison Square Garden as well. He teamed up with Mick Foley to take on a young Randy Orton, young Batista, and very old Ric Flair. So yeah, there you go. Less than 90 minutes, sold out. Madison Square Garden, New York City Survivor Series on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. It's their fall classic, so it's right around Thanksgiving anyway. And did you know Survivor Series is a longer pay-per-view than WrestleMania? I mean, people talk about how WrestleMania is the greatest spectacle, which that is true. But this coming Survivor Series will be their 29th. Next year's WrestleMania will be their 28th. So WrestleMania gets all the glitz, glams, and glory, but Survivor Series been on longer than they have, 1 year at least. So now that I got that out of the way, let's get to our recap of the Raw Super Show. Everyone's talking about it. Triple H, CM Punk, big match, Night of Champions. They had their final face-off, and both had to say what they had to say about each other. Obviously, I think we all knew that CM Punk wanted to get his hands on Triple H so bad. It's one thing to push the guy's buttons, which what he's been doing for nearly a month, 2 months now. But to finally get his hands on Triple H as Raw went off the air, that was a sign of relief. And he gets to do it in a match. I mean, there was some moments that really got my attention, Jeff, about Punk and Triple H, especially when Punk said, he's never gotten a bigger push. He said the WWE, it's all about bodybuilders.
Right.
I mean, forget about past world champions. Let's go to the current champions. Kelly, she don't look like a bodybuilder. Tag team champions Air Boom don't look like bodybuilders. Dolph Ziggler, U.S. champion, Intercontinental champion Cody Rhodes. The man's a stick figure. He ain't no bodybuilder. And your world champion Randy Orton, WWE champion Del Rio, never came from a bodybuilding background. And I guess I go at Triple H straight him out on that. I mean, it's not all
That's
about.
going to be an interesting match Sunday. You know that.
Yeah, it is, and especially when this is going to be Triple H's first match in 6 months.
Well, you don't think they're going to let Triple H lose, do you? Come on.
That is a good one.
Especially with the new stipulation now.
Yeah, if CM Punk wins, Triple H must step down as the boss.
That's not gonna happen.
And do we really believe that Kevin Nash's situation is over? He's not just gonna come out of nowhere, Night of Champions.
No, he might come out during that match on Night of Champions.
Because over a week and a half ago,
because there is no disqualification match, so you can come out there and do something to Punk, while Triple H is down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that could happen. And reporters say that the whole Kevin Nash being released is part of the storyline. So we will really see if that is a storyline or not. Otherwise, he's released. He's done. The comeback.
Well, according to an article that I just read, CM Punk is the special guest referee for the Cena Rock match now.
Wow, is that right?
I just read this match. Just read this article just now, while you were talking.
Wow, that would be. I don't know if that's what CM Punk wants, considering the way the commodity he's been. I don't think.
There it is, right there. There's the article right there.
I will be.
Don't come on, Browning Master. There's the fucking article right there, dude.
Nah,
it says at the bottom of the article.
He's actually.
Where is it? Say it right
Ashley
here.
Andrew.
John Cena versus The Rock with special guest referee CM Punk.
Actually, Browning Master is referring to at the beginning of the show when I called you the first time and your voice message popped up over there. So that was like 10 minutes ago.
I'm here, brother. I'm here.
So, wow. CM Punk wants to be the referee of that match?
Yeah, and I think what they're going to do is they're going to make him wrestle earlier in the night. And then he's going to referee that match.
That I would be shocked if that happens. I mean, do you have people not seen the way CM Punk?
Okay, well, here, let me read this to you. The truly epic clash between the sports entertainment's greatest titans, the C-Nation Commander-in-Chief and the People's Champion, is exciting enough for the WWE Universe to mobilize to Miami on April 1st. This includes CM Punk, who's used his so-called handheld pipe bomb to criticize the WrestleMania, 28 main event. The straight-edge superstar may not be able to squeeze himself into the action, but he'd make a most impartial guest referee in that he presumably loathes both Cena and The Rock equally. As long as the WWE Universe gets to see Punk compete in his own confrontation at WrestleMania earlier in the night, the straight-edge superstar could be the genuine X factor in this match for the ages.
Wow. And Punk can't stand them both.
I know.
He can't stand them both. All right. Well, he and Cena, they're kind of friends, and then they're not friends, behind the scenes and stuff. I mean, they do have respect for each other. But then Punk with his ego and the t-shirt in the back say he's the best in the world. That type of deal. Punk gonna be the referee. Well, as long as Punk gets a match, then he's probably okay with it. He ain't gonna trip. But if he's required at WrestleMania 28 just to be the referee, not be in a match, that's gonna be a problem.
You know what? Kind of funny.
What?
It says right here, WWE EVP John Laurinaitis seeks answers for CM Punk's microphone malfunction. Yeah, right. Get the fuck out of here.
I think it was Laurinaitis himself that turned the mics off, went to the control room, told
Them to do it.
told him to turn the mic
Yeah,
off.
I agree.
I don't
Yeah.
think it was Triple H whatsoever. I mean, Triple H has his differences with Punk, but I don't
See,
think
and I don't think the WWE is gonna let Triple H lose.
Well,
There's no way in hell I think that's gonna happen. If that does happen, then he's coming back to wrestle.
yeah.
And I don't think he's coming back to wrestle.
I think at this point of Triple H's career, he doesn't see himself wrestling full time. I mean, he's more of a behind the scenes guy, front office kind of guy.
Right. So that's why I'm thinking that he's gonna win. He's gonna beat CM Punk.
And not to mention his first match in 6 months. I mean,
I'm surprised he didn't have himself in a match on Monday night.
and let's not forget, as I mentioned a few weeks ago on an article, Triple H wasn't even supposed to be in this pay-per-view. He was supposed to make his wrestling return at Survivor Series, but because of the Kevin Nash thing fell off and his physical, Triple H had to fill in, had to take his spot.
Hey, how about that freaking match on Monday night with there's a couple of matches I want to talk to you about.
Okay.
But what about the one with Cena and who's Cena's partner in that tag team match?
Cena and Sheamus?
When they took on Del Rio and Del Rio's
Oh, that was Cena and
Bret Hart.
Bret Hart.
Right. That was a pretty funny match, man. And I like to see Cena get the ass kicked out of. I'm sorry. I like to see Cena kick the crap out of Del Rio. I can't stand Del Rio. I hate him.
Del Rio has had a very quiet WWE title reign.
He needs to go.
Well, he's not gonna go, but he's gonna be around. It's just that all the focus has been on Punk and Triple H. It's just that the Del Rio being the WWE champion kind of reminds me.
Nobody cares about it. That's why.
Well,
because he's the champion.
He is the champion. Talking about destiny. Talking about
Ricardo Rodriguez got his ass beat a little bit on Monday night, huh? But you want to know something? I got to give him his props. Okay, in the ring, he's not bad.
He's not bad. He can move.
He can move, right? I mean, he was getting slammed and he was getting up and taking another one and getting up and taking another one, right?
Yeah, he
can move.
He can move.
Right. So I was surprised in that. He can wrestle. So I think that son of a bitch should be doing more of it, man. But he was scared shitless. That was so funny. That was great.
Yeah, Del Rio.
And then that Jerry Lawler match with fucking Sheamus, that was beautiful.
Yeah, okay, that's why I mixed it up.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, he teamed up with Sheamus against Otunga and McGillicuddy, and again trying to teach them a thing or two about charisma. You would think at least Otunga has some charisma, considering he's been on a reality show.
Sheamus beat the crap out of him.
I mean, Sheamus ain't no joke. He's become a very likable guy as of late. The guy is just, and he's went from being a Celtic warrior to the Great White. So, he's gonna make an impact on SmackDown. He's gonna be in the title picture at some point, at least after Night of Champions. But another match that took place. I think it was in the.
How long is Night of Champions? 3 hours or 4?
3 hours. Well, technically, if you want it, technically 2 hours and 45 minutes. They trying to make it look like a 3-hour pay-per-view, but really it's just 2 hours and 45 minutes.
And that's 8 o'clock Eastern, right?
8 o'clock Eastern, 5 on the West Coast.
Yeah.
every
5
single
to 7. Yeah, you're right. They usually end around quarter to 8 here.
yeah, every single championship belt is going to be on the line. However, there is one championship match yet to be announced. That is the Intercontinental Championship, which is currently held by Cody Rhodes. Wonder who is he going to be facing at Night of Champions? I have a feeling he may end up facing his former friend Ted DiBiase, because
Really?
after what happened a few weeks ago, um, Cody Rhodes attacked Ted DiBiase, gave him the crossroads, and put
Yeah,
the
right after he lost his match,
yeah,
right?
right after he lost his match, because it looked like Ted DiBiase's career was revived just because of Cody Rhodes. But then the guy got into a losing streak and said, if you lose one more time, I'm gonna embarrass you. And that's what happened. He got embarrassed, got the brown paper bag treatment. And speaking of people and attitudes, Sin Cara, he spoke for the first time ever last week on SmackDown. He had an interview by Josh Matthews. Josh Matthews asked him about his actions towards Money in the Bank Daniel Bryan, who's similar to.
What the hell was that?
Oh, that's my. I'm getting a plug-in unresponsive for some reason.
You're confusing the shit out of me over
No.
here. Man.
Yeah.
That's not hard to do either.
Well, DiBiase, well, Sin Cara, I should say, he's gotten a bit of.
Him in his ass.
you don't like Sin Cara because of
that guy flies all over the place. I'd like to see a match between him and freaking Rey Mysterio.
Well, I think they're trying to make him look like the next Rey Mysterio, but I didn't expect him to turn a heel just months after he debuted, and they're trying to give him a push as a heel now. He may end up facing Daniel Bryan tomorrow night on SmackDown. Daniel Bryan better start winning some matches, man. He's been losing a lot since he won Money in the Bank back in July. Mark Henry. My goodness, Mark Henry. Last Friday on SmackDown, after Randy Orton defeated Cody Rhodes, he attacks him, with some power slams, put the chair on top of Orton. And then this past Monday night on the Raw Super Show, in the rematch between Orton and Rhodes, Mark Henry calls Randy Orton his match against Cody Rhodes. Goes on to defeat his former mentor. That's a big win for Cody Rhodes. Say what you want about Cody Rhodes. The man can compete. I mean, he can hang with some main eventers if given the opportunity. So Mark Henry, think of what the man's been through. He's been in the WWE for 15 years. Okay? He had one of the biggest contracts in WWE.
That son of a bitch don't deserve shit.
What you got against Mark Henry? I mean,
He's a mean son of a bitch.
That's what he's supposed to do.
You don't deserve shit.
Look, it's 15 years of frustration.
Hey, listen. People don't go to the WWE to see Mark Henry.
No, they don't.
There's your answer right there. Why you won't win.
Hey, Randy Orton's been struggling against.
People go to the WWE to see Randy Orton. They don't go to the WWE to see fucking Mark Henry, that fat bastard.
Look, Mark Henry, he's hurting people, and Randy Orton's in trouble.
I didn't say he wasn't pissed off.
Yeah.
I'm just stating fact.
Yeah, I know he's not a main event guy every single week, but at least he's there doing what he has to do to get himself out there. And this is a big opportunity. Biggest match in Mark Henry's 15-year career. When the last time Mark Henry's been in a main event at a pay-per-view? Never. So he had this opportunity right in front of him. He better seize the moment. He may never get an opportunity again.
He ain't gonna win. They're not gonna let him win.
I mean, if he can't get you see how he tried to put the RKO on him last Friday and he was unable to? I mean, you can't beat the man if you can't get him on the ground. You can't beat Mark Henry has what is called the Hall of Pain.
Well,
Look,
Mark Henry needs to freaking. I mean, Randy Orton needs to just be quick, move, hit and get out, hit and get out, hit and get out. Move, use your speed. Don't get close to that son of a bitch. Get him on his back and then beat the living crap out of him.
yeah.
Break his leg.
Not if not if Mark Henry gets to him first.
Is that a regular match or is that a no disqualification as well?
For Orton versus Henry, it's just a regular one-on-one match.
He's lucky that it's not a freaking no disqualification. Tell Orton to bring a chair in there and beat the living shit out of that fat bastard.
I mean, look what Mark Henry has done over the last couple of months. He injured Kane.
I have.
He's injured Kane. He's injured Big Show. He defeated Sheamus. I know it was by count out, but a win's a win. Now, he won that that battle royal, making him #1 contender. And he's gotten the best of Randy Orton over the last couple of weeks.
Hey, Randy, I got a beautiful idea. Kick him right in the nuts when the referee's not looking.
Well,
he'll go down.
The last time he kicked someone in the nuts, he lost the title. You know that, right?
Well, he can't lose the title for that. Doing that.
Right.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Right.
That is true. There is no Christian rule. I will give him that.
Right. So if he wants to, he just kick him in his nuts. Referee will disqualify. Match is over. You don't even hurt. They'll piss Henry off, but fuck him.
Another thing I want to talk about is what's been going on between probably a disgusting three-way between Vicky Guerrero, Dolph Ziggler, and Jack Swagger.
That is a disgusting three-way.
Now, Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero have not been on the same page as of late. And Jack Swagger is reaching out to Vicky saying, you know what, maybe you should expand your clientele and let me, be part of your team. I can be a better competitor than Ziggler. You talk about Night of Champions, everybody's got to face someone one-on-one. Dolph Ziggler has the most difficult match of the card. He's got to face 3 other guys. He's got to face Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, and John Morrison in a fatal 4-way match.
Wah.
And that match was announced this past Monday by General Manager of SmackDown, Teddy Long. Obviously, Vicky's not happy that her 2 clients now have to face each other in a fatal 4-way. But at some point,
I think it'll be good.
I don't think it's gonna matter to Vicky as long as one of them walks out as champion. But don't underestimate young Alex Riley and John Morrison, especially Morrison. The man just came back from an injury about a month or 2 ago, and he needs a splash. He's had a lot of highlights throughout this year, but he's just been in and out with injuries because of R-Truth. So, and what about the team of R-Truth and The Miz? Talk about your unlikely duo there. And they made the match by themselves, and of course Triple H ended up giving them the match against Air Boom. Air Boom will have their second tag team title defense. It will be this Sunday night. So can Air Boom get the job done, or will Miz and Truth somehow, some way walk out with the gold? Now, R-Truth for the last several months has been preaching about conspiracy, and I thought, now I'm not a Miz fan, never have, never will, but I thought he'd have more common sense than R-Truth, and now he decided to go along with him over this conspiracy. I mean, this guy goes for main eventing WrestleMania 6 months ago, should just be in the mid-card storylines, not getting a push or whatever. I say, speaking of mid-push, CM Punk's been good. He said he hasn't been getting the push when he was talking to Triple H in the final face-off. I mean, let's go over CM Punk's accolades, shall we? He's a four-time world champion. He was the WWE champion just last month or whatever. He's a two-time Money in the Bank winner, former tag team champion, former ECW champion, and a Slammy Award winner. If I
Big
have
fucking deal.
if I have those accolades like CM Punk, I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't be complaining about not getting enough push. You know, if I had all the accolades that CM Punk had, I would not be fronting. You know. Thank you, Andrew. Conspiracy. You know, to see what R Truth does to the language. That's just great. And did you not hear him call him a ninja? But then
Yeah,
again,
what's up with that?
I mean, and even Miz was like, "Will you just call me?" But I think we all know what he really meant. But being that it is a PG show, they weren't going.
He didn't want to say it.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they made it funny. I will admit, you know, Ninja, why, please. And our special guest is calling in right now, indie pro wrestler Marty Bell out of New York. Let me add her to the conference. Ladies and gentlemen, our special guest this evening, indie pro wrestler out of New York, former WSU Tag Team Champion, Marty Bell is on the phone right now. Hello, Marty.
Hello, how are you?
We're doing good. How are you?
I am very tired and beat up right now.
Wow. Well.
I am literally in the locker room because I'm training.
Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, we thank you for calling us here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
My pleasure. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We want to thank you for calling us here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So, Marty, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself and how your wrestling career got started?
Well, I'm actually in the locker room that my career got started. I started off in the business, as some people would say, a little iffy. I used to be a model, and I did a lot of acting. You know, I went to school for acting. I graduated, and I was looking for auditions and modeling gigs and whatnot. And there was a company out of Brooklyn called WW that's run by WWE Hall of Famer Johnny Rod. And he was looking for valets, essentially, just the girls to come out to the ring or whatever. And I was like, all right, this seems cool. I was a big fan of wrestling growing up, and I watched it all my childhood. And I was like, this sounds kind of cool. So I came down to the gym one time. They saw me, they're like, yeah, you're perfect. We'll use you. So they used me one show, they used me another show, and it kind of just kept going from there. I started getting interested. Maybe my third month in that I wanted to train, but at that time I didn't have the money or the time to dedicate to wrestling because I said, even when I had the money and I was ready to train, I just said I'm not going to do it until I know I have time to dedicate myself to it. So I started training exactly 2 years in a week ago, and haven't stopped since then, kind of proving to people that just because, you come in as a model doesn't mean you have to have 3 moves and call it a day. We can actually work.
Well said, and I say more power to you. You come a long way. You paid your dues. You've succeeded a lot. I want to ask you this. You are part of a tag team called the Bell Saints. Ooh.
Sorry, it's really loud here.
That's okay.
I'm not a...
That's okay. Well, as I was saying, you're part of a tag team called the Bell Saints with Tina San Antonio. How did that tag team got together? Was it a company's idea? Was it y'all two's out there? How did the tag team got together?
Well, me and Tina are both from Gleason's. We're both from Johnny Rod's. And when I started as a manager and a valet, Tina wasn't here. And then Tina started training before I did. So I was in the company for a year before, we started training. And when we started training, we were both the only girls here. So, of course, you kind of, you start working together, working more and more together. Because eventually you're probably going to work girls, so you want to be able to, feel each other out or whatever. And we tagged one time. We had really good chemistry, but we're like, it's just because we're, from the same place. And then actually Rick Cataldo started talking us up to Sean from WSU, and they were in need of tag teams, so they were like, you want to bring these girls in. So they gave us our big shot at the WSU 3rd anniversary show, and we got killed. Like, the Boston Shore totally steamrolled over us, and, we were like, okay, this is probably going to be our last shot. But they kept calling us back, and I think he saw how hungry we were, and he saw how determined we were, and we wanted, to earn our spot on WSU. Spots in WSU aren't just given out, It's a tough company to work for, and it's a very, very, very reputable company, so you want to fight. And I think we proved to everybody that we're a great tag team and that we're in it for the long run.
All right. Now, there's been a lot of talk about last week when the PWI Top 50 Women Wrestlers of 2011 has been unveiled. Your tag team partner Tina is on the list. She's ranked at number 38. You're not on that list. And I think it's an outrage that you're not on that list. I mean, what's your reaction to it? Do you take it as an insult, or do you look at it as motivation to get better? I mean, what's your take on it?
First of all, thank you. For me, it's really just that list is subjective, and I think that I just maybe haven't made a big enough impact. I feel like I'm not just one-time WSU tag team champion. I'm a two-time WSU champion, and I'm champion here, and I've worked my butt off really hard, and maybe I'm just not impressing the right people, and that's fine. That's fine with me. Just means next year I have to make a lot of statement. I have to work even harder. I have to come into the ring not once a week, to come 3 or 4 times a week to train. I just have to stay on my game and make sure that people are taking notice.
That's fair. That's good. At the end of the day, no matter who's on the countdown, who's not on the countdown, not everybody's gonna be happy with who's in there, who's not on there. You just look at it as motivation, and you'll get back on there next year. Now you mentioned WSU, Women's Superstars Uncensored. It's arguably the best woman wrestling company here in America, and you and Tina are part of it. And coming up in November, there's the pay-per-view called Breaking Barriers. You and Tina are teaming up to take on the Soul Sisters. Well, the winner.
One more time.
Yeah, the winner will be the number 1 contenders for the tag team titles. How do you feel about that?
Well, if you have any followers out there at WSU, the first pay-per-view Breaking Barriers 1 is actually when the underdogs, the Bell Saints, beat Cindy and one half of what is now the Soul Sisters, Jana. We beat them for the tag titles, and everybody was extremely shocked. But we're like, why are you shocked? We said we would do it. We came up together. We came up strong. And this time is going to be no different. We're going to prove to everybody once again that the Bell Saints are back. Everybody's been talking about how we've been having problems. It's like a marriage. It's like a relationship. Well, good relationship doesn't go through their problems. We went through our problems. We're past that. We've sat down. We discussed it. We know that things can only get better with us together. So we're definitely ready to take over.
It's definitely a big pay-per-view coming up in November. Go to WSUWrestling.com for more info. For those who are unable to attend at the event, you can watch it online on your computer. So just go to WSUWrestling.com for more details. Let me ask, who are some of your favorite women or male wrestlers out there right now? Not just necessarily WWE or TNA, but in the indie circuit as well. Who's your favorite wrestlers out right now?
Right now, I would say I'm obviously a big fan of Mercedes Martinez. I've had the privilege of being in the ring with her before, and I think she's an amazing worker. Then there's girls that aren't as known and should be known. Mia Yim, Annie Social. Of course, I think the names, I'm sure if you're a wrestling fan, Mia Yim, Annie Social, Roxy. What else can I say? I'm a fan of Tina's. You know, I love watching her. I feel like I've learned so much with her. Jazz, of course, I learned a lot just by working that one match with her. I honestly, like, pretty much anybody in that WSU locker room has all my respect. Somebody like Serena, especially, who went from, you know, working the indies, busting her ass until she got onto WWE, and then being back on the indies and working so hard, going to Japan and, you know, putting 5-star matches out there. She's somebody that definitely has my respect. And I just think there's so much women's wrestling that people need to be aware of that they aren't. Look at WSU, look into Shimmer, there's so much going on that people need to look at, and you'd be really surprised. It's not just 3-minute matches on TV, you know? Girls can go for 73 minutes, and girls can go for an hour, 50 minutes, whatever it is.
One of my favorite WSU moments was when you teamed up with Jazz, because Tina was hurt at the time, and y'all had to defend the tag team titles, and y'all ended up winning. What was it like to team up with someone like Jazz, who's arguably one of the best wrestlers out there, and for her to just reach out to you and to be your tag team partner for that night?
It was amazing. I've been a big fan of Jazz's for a very long time, you know, and she's somebody who hung with the boys in ECW, made it to WWE, and stayed on top. And I just feel like she's somebody you can learn from, and she's somebody you can just watch and know so much. And such a tough lady. But at the end of the day, one of the sweetest people I've ever met. And it literally was like a dream come true. It was, I think if you look at the pictures from that night, like my face when me and her are standing in the ring dancing together, and she has her arm around me, she kept thanking me. She's like, thank you. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Thank you. Like, this is like something I can check off my wrestling bucket list, you know?
I mean, anytime you get to wrestle a legend like that, that's very special, and to win, that's just the icing on the cake. So, why don't you tell the listeners about your websites, your Twitter, Facebook, anything you want to promote?
Well, I have a fan page for right now. I'm trying to get it up soon because my there's a limit on Facebook to how many friends you can have, and I'm reaching that limit pretty soon. I'm like 500 away from that, and I want to try to keep that open for a little longer. So you can find me at Marti Belle, that's MartiBellesp, so Facebook.com/Marti Belle fan page. And I'm huge on Twitter. Like, I tweet every day, and I tweet constantly. And that's the same handle is just MartiBelle, so just Marti Belle. And pretty much that's really what I use. I have a MySpace that I haven't used in centuries. And I have a phone spring that I like to answer fun questions on, but everything else gets linked to my fan page or my Twitter. But Twitter is definitely the way to go.
Other than the WSU pay-per-view, do you have any other matches you have coming up?
Yes, I am. What is this weekend? I have a show this weekend working for BPW on Saturday. That's in Long Island and Deer Park. Then the weekend after, we're doing actually something really, really cool. Here, if you live in Brooklyn, I suggest you come check it out. It's going to be under the Brooklyn Bridge. The main attraction is a 15-person blindfolded match in a cage. So 15 guys are going in a cage. It's, I believe it's submission only. So it's 15 guys in a cage, blindfolded. And I'm also going to have a match on that. And then that night, I'm going to make my return to NYWC. And then there's a bunch of other stuff coming up. So it's working FCW in a little while, too. I would suggest just going to my fan page. Everything's listed there. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of really cool things that should definitely be checked out.
Definitely. Go check out the Facebook fan page for more on her upcoming events coming at a city near you, especially if you're in the New York and New Jersey area. And again, we are joined with Marti Belle here on Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. Marty, before we let you go, and again, we appreciate you for calling in. We would like for you to do what is called a voice drop. All you got to do is say your name, and right after you say your name, you say you are listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Triple Threat Wrestling Radio. All right.
All right, go right ahead.
This is Marty Bell, and you're listening to Triple Threat Wrestling Radio.
Perfect.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. I got it.
I want to tell people a story before I let you go. And I'm not sure if you remember this or not. I did try to get the Bell Saints on an interview on Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C of November last year, but due to circumstances on my end, I had like internet problems at the time. That didn't happen. So now here I am.
I do remember.
Yeah, so you all talking to Jeff and Kenny C, and we are doing
And
this
you know
show.
what? I actually think that we were both planning on coming in to train. So
Yeah.
we're like, we're just calling from the gym. So it would have been the exact same scenario, both of us are sitting here calling you. So now you just have one Bell Saint this time.
Yeah. Yeah. Not a
Pretty
problem.
cool.
And and tell Tina if she we'll like to have her on the show as well. I mean, we'll be happy to have her.
I will let her know.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and let you go. You're very busy, and we want to thank you once again for joining us. Best of success.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much. Best of success goes out to you. Good luck in your match in WSU going forward. And you
Thank
take care.
you.
You have a good weekend,
Make
Marty.
sure everybody checks out the pay-per-view. There's no excuse for not being able to see it.
There you
It's
go.
on and home. So thank you so much.
You have a good weekend, Marty.
Thank you, you too.
All right, bye-bye. That was Marty Bell, two-time WSU Tag Team Champion. Yeah, she had quite a night. I'm going to go ahead and recap the No Surrender pay-per-view. But before I get to that, let's get to this real quick. This day in wrestling history. In 1990, Vince McMahon officially founds the WBF, which stands for World Bodybuilding Federation. 2006, SmackDowns aired for the final time in UPN before becoming CW Network. I mean, for those who don't know, UPN, WB, they became joint forces and ended up becoming CW. Let's see. 1996, WCW Fall Brawl, first event, explicitly showcased WCW working relationship with Mexico AAA. It was held in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Conan, Juventud Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Harlem Heat, Nasty Boys, NWO were all featured in that pay-per-view. 1979. Here's an interesting fact. Pat Patterson is awarded the WWF Intercontinental Championship after winning the North American and South American title. This is the first WWF Intercontinental title reign and saw other two belts retired. So that's how Pat Patterson became the first ever Intercontinental Champion. Also, some title changes. 1997, Kurt Hennig, the late Mr. Perfect, defeated Steve McMichael, a former football player for the Chicago Bears. He defeated McMichael to win the WCW US title. On 1998 on Raw, X-Pac defeated D'Lo Brown to win the European title, and Jacqueline, who's now on Impact, defeated Sable to reinstate the Women's Championship. 2005, Jeff Jarrett defeat Raven to win the NWA World title. However, the match never aired on TNA programming, having taken place at a BCW Canadian indie show. Happy birthdays to Chad Austin, former ECW wrestler, also known as Chad Browning. He turns 39. Ring of Honor Top of the Class trophy winner Rick Titus, 24 years old. Two-time Open, the Brave Gate champion. Genie Horiguchi, and current SmackDown General Manager Teddy Long turned 64 years old. Good Lord, Teddy Long is 64 years old. I thought he'd be in his 50s, not in his 60s. Also today would have been the birthday of two-time AWA Tag Team Champion Wilbur Snyder, who's 82 years old. And that's all that happened on this day in wrestling history. Let me give you your No Surrender recap. I watched the pay-per-view and boy did it stunk. But I'll get to the highlights anyway. Jesse Swordstem defeated Kid Cash. He's Jesse Swordstem, #1 contender for the X Division title. Bully Ray defeated James Storm by disqualification in the Bound for Glory series. Winter defeated Mickey James to become Knockouts champion. Mexican American defeated Devon and D'Angelo De Niro. Tag team championship match there. Matt Morgan defeated disgruntled superstar Samoa Joe. Bobby Roode defeated Gunner in the semifinals of the Bound for Glory series. Austin Aries defeated Brian Kendrick, become the new X Division champion. Bobby Roode defeated Bully Ray in a Bound for Glory series tiebreaker match. That means Bobby Roode will now be the #1 contender for the Impact World Heavyweight Championship at next month pay-per-view, which also called Bound for Glory. Kurt Angle defeated Sting and Mr. Anderson in a three-way match to retain the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. So even though their Thursday show is called Impact Wrestling, they still call their company TNA. I thought they were going to change it to Impact Wrestling completely, but obviously that's not the case. As for tonight's
episode, that place is gay.
And there goes Jeff. So yeah, Bobby Roode is now the #1 contender, one half of Beer Money. So he'll get his title shot at next month pay-per-view against Kurt Angle, it looks like. Now, speaking of in other Impact news, it's probably a smart move that they released Matt Hardy from the roster a couple of weeks ago, because guess what happened?
DUI.
Yeah, DWI. He got busted again, second time in 3 weeks. I thought Jeff Hardy was the screw up of all the Hardys, but apparently, Jeff Hardy is still the screw up, because he's about to go to jail for at least 10 days for that for his incident back in 2009. So he's gonna wrestle, but he needs to serve some time. He's going to probation. He got community service and all that stuff. Tonight on Impact, Hulk Hogan, he said he has a huge announcement. Wonder what that's going to be. And let's not forget, big matchup, Sting versus Ric Flair on Impact. And if Sting
tonight?
Yeah, tonight. And if Sting wins, he gets a one-on-one match against Hulk Hogan at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I said this over a month ago, and I'm still. Who the hell wants to see these 3-year-old guys at that point of their careers?
Hogan can't wrestle no more.
He can't wrestle worth a damn anymore. Why at this point of your career put yourself out there? It's ridiculous. They need a buzz, because Bound for Glory is like their WrestleMania. It's their biggest event of the year. So they need to do something. And Bobby Roode versus Kurt Angle, no offense,
ain't gonna cut it.
They got to do more than that. Bobby Roode, he's a good wrestler, good tag team wrestler, been in Impact since the very beginning. And Kurt Angle, well, he's Kurt Angle, but if it means that they have to get Sting and Hulk Hogan, then I guess that's the way they're gonna have to do it. But it's time to start relying on the young guys. But then again, they don't have a lot of young guys. All the guys are just old, elderly.
Hogan can't wrestle, man. He's got no back.
He got no back. Neck surgeries.
That's why Ric Flair's going to win tonight.
You better hope so. Otherwise, Hogan got to get his ass in that ring looking pitiful as ever.
Hogan's going to be there tonight, right?
Yeah, he's going to be there. He's going to make a huge announcement. Maybe his announcement that he'll retire permanently. But I don't see that happening. Let's go ahead and make our picks for the Bound for Glory. Did I just say that? Damn.
Yeah. Hey, what channel is Impact on?
It's on Spike TV still. It's still on Spike, 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and make our picks for the Night of Champions pay-per-view. We start off with the Divas Championship match. In her hometown, Beth Phoenix faces the current champion Kelly Kelly. Last time these two faced was at SummerSlam, and Kelly with a huge win. Who are you taking, Phoenix or Kelly?
I'd like to see Kelly win, but I think Phoenix is going to win in her hometown.
Home crowd is, yes, it's bound to happen. Divas of Doom, they want to make their mark, and the only way they're going to make their mark if they get that Divas Championship. And with Natalya going to be in her corner, that should spell doom for one Kelly. I'll take Beth Phoenix to win in her hometown as well. On to the tag team title match. It is Air Boom, Evan Bourne, and Kofi Kingston taking on the unlikely team of R-Truth and The Miz. You got True Miz or Air Boom?
Air Boom.
I'm going to go with Air Boom as well.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I'm going to go with Air Boom. Kingston and Bourne.
I think Miz and Truth are going to win, though.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Boom win.
Alright, so you got True Miz, and I'll take Air Boom. On to the United States Championship match. It's probably not good if you're Dolph Ziggler. You're in a fatal four-way match. You're going up against Swagger, Alex Wiley, and John Morrison. Who are you taking in that match? Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, what was the match?
United States title match. Dolph Ziggler versus Jack Swagger versus Alex Wiley versus John Morrison.
John Morrison.
I'm gonna go.
Sorry about that. My dad walked in.
Oh, that's all right. I'm gonna go with Jack Swagger. I think he's doing this just to please Vicky. So I go with Swagger and Swaggertash.
I don't think Swagger or the other fucker, Dolph Ziggler, are gonna win because they're gonna be too busy concentrating on each other.
Yeah, but I think, Swagger at this point, he just want to please Vicky. He wants to be the only person for Vicky, and I think he's gonna do just enough to walk out of NOC with the U.S. title. Swagger has been in the back burner since WrestleMania with Michael Cole. He wants to get back in the big picture. So if it means he has to beat Dolph Ziggler, who's client with Vicky Guerrero, then so be it. I'm going on Swagger and Swaggertash.
I don't know why he's getting pissed off. More the people, the better.
Yeah. All right, let's go on with the. We went to Divas Tag Team US. We don't know who Cody Rhodes is gonna face.
He's gonna win anyway.
Yeah, he's probably gonna win anyway. On to the World Heavyweight Championship match. Randy Orton versus Mark Henry.
Orton.
You picking Orton?
Mm-hmm.
I want to think that Orton's gonna find a way, but Mark Henry.
Because if Orton's smart, he gets disqualified.
Nah, he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. He's not gonna get himself DQ. He wants to win it the right way at this point of his career, anyway. I'm gonna go with Mark Henry. I keep saying this. 15 years, finally reached the top, the highlight of his career. Been around since the Attitude Era. He's been dominating. He's beaten Kane, Big Show, Vladimir Kozlov, Sheamus, and he's looking to induct.
Listen, the
Randy
WWE ain't gonna make no money off of Mark fucking Henry.
Who say anything about making money? It's just it's I guess it's a feel good story, and
That's what it's all about.
it's a feel good story, at least for Henry. Great Khali was champion. You know.
Yeah, for about a half of a second.
Yeah, but he was a champion nonetheless. So, I mean, why not Mark Henry? 15 years. I think it's finally his time. He's more focused than ever, and if he can't get the RKO on him, then he's doomed. I'm going with Mark Henry. Let's go ahead and get to the Triple H versus CM Punk match. If CM Punk wins, Triple H must step down as the chief officiating COO of the WWE. Who you got, Punk or Triple H?
See, when Punk said that, Triple H should have turned around and said, "Okay, deal. But if you lose, you're out of here."
Well, he got outsmarted, obviously. But hey, is it a win or step down as COO? I'm gonna go with Triple H to win this match.
Me too.
Yeah, Triple H all the way. And for our main event, WWE Championship match, Alberto Del Rio defends against John Cena. Cena defeated CM Punk over a month ago to earn his title match. Who do you have, Cena or Del Rio?
Cena. I can't stand that fucking prick, Del Rio.
I'm a Cena fan, and there's times I pick him, and there's times I pick against him. I'm not saying Cena's gonna tap out, but I think Del Rio's gonna find a way to retain that belt. And Ricardo Rodriguez, the guy can move, obviously, so that's gonna be a factor. I don't think they're gonna let Del Rio end his title reign too soon. Cena just gonna have to fall back, I guess. So I'm picking Del Rio.
Wow.
So there you have it. Those are pay-per-view picks. We'll see who's right and we'll see who's wrong. And that's going to conclude our broadcast for the evening. Want to thank Marty Bell for calling in. After getting through with a workout, and a loud noise in the background. But we thank her for joining us anyway. Next week we will recap Night of Champions. Thank you everyone for listening. Don't forget, Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C is on Saturday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. And Amber O'Neil, 3-Way with Fire and Ice, hosted by Amber O'Neil, Angel Orsini, tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. That's right after Impact. That's only on pw247radio.com. The reason I'm mentioning this because Amber is a former guest, and I do my best to support former guests on the show. So that's it. We're done. Thank you everyone for listening. You all have a good weekend. We'll see you this Saturday on Chilling with Jeffy.